do a formal motion on this, don't we?
You do need to make a motion.
Can we all make the motion?
I mean, probably for the minutes, we should do it officially, but,
Well, we should probably start the meeting first.
well, yes, the meeting can't, I mean, we need somebody to call it to order,
Okay,
so.
all right. Let's call the meeting to order. We'll say the pledge of allegiance and we'll do a little prayer.
That's great.
Pledge allegiance to the flag. Okay, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Collins?
Here.
Ms. Ross?
Here.
Mr. Wall?
Here.
Mr. Weber?
Here.
Mr. Wessels?
Here.
Ms. Witt? Here.
Okay, since Dave is not here, we need to appoint somebody to run the meeting. Do we have a nomination?
I'll nominate Jason.
Okay, anybody want to second that?
We'll all second.
All in favor?
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Jason, you're it, buddy.
Gee, thanks.
I just like to be able to spread out.
Yeah.
All right, I don't like being the center of attention so much.
How's your health? I might need to know.
Yeah. Move down here.
Healthy as a horse.
Excellent.
Yeah, we can scoot it.
Okay. Frank, any comments? Sincerely? I'm good. Okay, just checking.
Frank's always good.
And I did think we were going to have another gentleman who was guest this evening, a student from NKU, but he might show up maybe halfway through the meeting. He's just here to observe.
Do we have minutes to approve?
You do, yes. Okay, might not have been dropped into your packet. So we have the January 7th, 2026 City Council meeting minutes, and they should have been dropped into your packet in the live version, but I also emailed you those for review.
So you want to make a motion? I'll make a motion to accept the January 7th minutes.
I'll make a second motion, accept.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Margie and I were gone.
I know, but if you read them, you can still.
Just saying.
Yeah, you still vote on it.
You still vote on that?
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess we need to make a
Roll call, Carrie.
Yeah.
Mr. Weber?
Yes?
Ms. Ross? Yes. Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Abstain.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes. I can do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And you also should have a copy of the January 21st caucus meeting minutes for review.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept those.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Carrie, roll call?
Mr. Weber?
Yes?
Ms. Witt? Yes. Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross? Yes. Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Abstain.
Cool.
Is that all?
That is all of the minutes, yes.
Got no unfinished business, I guess.
No, there is not any unfinished business. I do have a variety of projects that we're working on, and I have reported in those in emails and reports separately. So if you'll just make sure you review my report from January 31st. Happy to answer any questions about any of those when you get there.
Look at that. There's nothing we have to do with it right now, though?
There's not, no.
Okay, cool.
Thank you for doing those reports every week. Those are very informative and keeps me in the loop, definitely. And it takes a lot of time to do it, but
Thank you, I appreciate that.
seriously, thank you.
So on to new business, we are on to the PDS council appointment.
Yes, so we are required to appoint a representative, a primary and an alternate representative. These are individuals appointed from each jurisdiction to serve on PDS council. Currently, Councilman Wessels is our primary and Councilman Collins is our secondary, our alternate appointment. So they have asked that you reappoint individuals. Specifically, they have contacted me and asked that Councilman Wessels be reappointed. But certainly that is entirely up to you.
Yes, that's fine.
Now, the alternate, there was some discussion that somebody else wanted to do that.
Yeah. Councilman Ross offered it.
Okay.
step in for me.
Going for PDS or OKI?
It is for
P-
PDS.
PDS.
It's for PDS, so county of PDS.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve Councilman Wessels as the primary and other councilmen for the alternate.
I will happily second that one.
Okay.
Run the meeting, you just got out of stuff.
Absolutely.
Any
Does anybody know
discuss-
when that February meeting is, since it's February?
Yes, it is, shoot, I'll send you, I believe it's February 23rd or 26th,
And I don't need to be there
which is not helpful at all.
if you're there.
No.
No, it won't be.
And you won't be there?
You will be.
That's the only one, that's,
You
don't have to. We can send Jason as our
It is
third
February
backup.
26th.
I think I got something that night.
We don't know what the date is, but he has
It's a
some.
bottle of whiskey, that's what the something is.
Yeah, I know the date, but he's
I
not
think
gonna
that's
be there.
election night, isn't it, Jason, I think? Election of officers night?
Yeah, last year that's what it was.
I think it's what it is.
Do you think, I think that's February 26th. It's a Thursday. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, I think.
I'll verify that and I'll send that to you, Don.
Yeah, that's it. Should be.
Okay, we got
All right. Chief Shuey is out of town, so we will,
a vote on that.
oh, sorry, we got a vote. Roll call?
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
So Chief Shuey is out of town and not able to present his fire and EMS annual report. We'll reschedule him for March. We have put both of the reports on the website. Kathleen, I emailed those to you. I hope that you received that. Good, thank you. But Chief Caldwell is able to present his report this evening.
It's gonna be a long one, isn't it?
If I go page by page, it will be. I didn't know if anybody was gonna put it up on the.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have a button that I can? This is Jeff's. Where's Jeff?
Jeff's watching, we miss him.
Yes, Jeff is. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of staff fight with the flu, and Jeff is one of them. So he is out sick this evening. I'm probably going to need you to push that button and yield it to me, please. Yes, please. Thank you. All right.
So the first few pages are kind of formalities, a letter from me, just kind of going over the things that we did throughout the year and a brief summary, and then after that's going to be the mission statement. I'll get into all the details of the letter from the chief as I go through it. And then organizational charts, so you probably, the meat of it's going to be the staffing changes one, so that one, I'll start there.
Okay.
Just reported that we got a new officer, Jared Capps, is currently in his online portion of the academy. They've changed that now, so he's actually has 4 weeks of online classwork that he has to complete, and he's in the middle of that before he goes down to Richmond very early next month. And then Officer Brad Keller left this year after 10 years of service with us to seek private sector opportunities. Go to the next one. And then these are, throughout the year, these are agency awards and notable things that officers did throughout the year that I'll run through them real quick. Officer Brad Keller, when he was with us, he got a department citation for assisting in purchasing groceries for an elderly woman that had no family and no transportation during cold and snowing weather. That was last January when we had bad snow. He got a call for a well-being check on somebody. A neighbor was concerned, and she had been in the house snowed in for a couple of days without any food. And he went to Kroger and loaded up a few bags of groceries and got her some McDonald's and didn't say anything to us. I just found out about it later on, so wanted to make sure we spotlighted that. The next one's Sergeant Jason Millay and Officer Tyler Wallace. Now, they did this last year, and they did it again this year. They responded to a call where a young man in his 30s had passed away suddenly in his home, and his children were there. they gathered some gifts and stuff last year, I'm talking last year, 24, and delivered a bunch of presents to the kids, because it happened close to Christmas. Well, they reached out to the family again this year, because we had so many gifts from our Cram the Cruiser events, and we took the money out, our Shop with a Cop line item that we had some donations from, and they outfitted them with an amazing Christmas again this year. So we wanted to recognize them for that. Officer Desiree Getz, she got a department commendation for assisting Covington PD with an officer-involved shooting. She was the first one in the room during the shooting to rescue the hostage that was the female that was taken hostage. And then Detective Mike Gross, he got a department citation for. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just want to point out again, and I know you said it, but that did not happen here. She was responding mutual aid
Yeah, it was
to
in
another
Covington.
community.
Yes, yeah, she just happened to be close and was the first backup officer to arrive. And then Detective Gross got a department citation for his expertise and compassion when he designing and delivering a senior scam class. And I know that got a lot of praise over the last year, and we're working on getting that in the Women's Self-Defense School. And actually, I think we have a date set for third week in March for Women's Self-Defense. We're going to bring that back. We've had a lot of requests for that. Yeah, it worked out great. The next page just goes into more detail of the senior scam training. Nice.
Where am I?
Keep going, keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah, I took some pages out of my paper copy.
This one?
No, it'll be a big picture of Mike in a suit. There you go. Yeah, so that just highlights a little more detail about the senior scam training that we did. I think we held 2 or 3 of them last year, and if we sold tickets, it would have been sold out house each time. It was packed. So I think the next time we do it, we're going to hold it in the evening at the South Hill Civic Club, a little more room. We've actually had other communities reach out to us and ask us to come to their community and do it, but we're just responding with them saying it's open to anybody. So
I have people asking me when the next one is.
yeah, it's really good. It's great. Get a lot of good positive feedback from it. And then we had Government Day, and then the bike rodeo, which we had a lot of help with the Surf First Foundation donating 20 bikes, and every kid in attendance got a bike that day, which was great. And then the other ones are the holiday events: Easter parade, trunk or treats, Halloween, back to school events. We conducted all those throughout the year and got an outstanding response from that as well.
Can I add that you guys also are a huge help with cleanup days?
Yeah, thank you.
You need to add that, because you guys are, we couldn't do it without your support.
Sure. I'll make sure to add that for next year. And then the next page is going to be more about the Christmas Cram the Cruiser events. We had 2 of them this past year. One was at Walmart, one was at North Kentucky Bargain Outlet, and we had an outstanding outcome from both of those. I think our slide person. Yeah, you're okay. You can keep going. We already passed that one.
Sorry, the mayor texted me and I was responding to
This
it.
page is going, so this is continuing.
Do I need to stop here or do I need
Yeah,
to?
you're good here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No problem. This is continuing education. This kind of irons out all the training that we did throughout the year. Total Department of Criminal Justice training for each officer totaled 640 hours. Then we had career development outside of DSCJT of 160 hours. That just lists each officer name and the classes that they took. And the next page. This is our leadership development. This is something that Ed Butler kind of really helped us solidify in concrete when he was here about sending the supervisors to advanced classes and leadership development, and we've kind of taken that and ran with it. Last year, Sergeant Nick Von Handorf graduated from the Academy for Police Supervision, which is 3 weeks. I've gone through it. Captain Griffin's gone through it. So has Sergeant Millay. That's an outstanding course. And then, bless you. And then Captain Griffin and I both attended and graduated from the FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Association programs, and then the Leadership Certification Program, which is 2 separate things, which took us almost 2 years between the both of us to do. And then because we both completed that, we got the Agency Trilogy Award, which was awesome to get. Next to the page is investigations, I wanted to highlight some of the more, I guess, important investigations that we did throughout the year. We had a ton of them, especially helped us out with the new detective's position that we got at the beginning of the year. Stolen vehicles, a lot of the theft by deception, stolen mail. A gentleman lost upwards of $50,000. We ended up getting a resolution to that as well. Let's see. More stolen vehicles. We had a shooting on St. Anthony, which was terrible. It was accidental. It was just deemed as a tragic accident. We had break-ins at Bob Summerall, over $10,000, financial frauds from a couple of the banks. We did have some sexual assault and strangulation investigations throughout the year, actually 2 of them. 2 or 3 really good ones that took a lot of time from Detective Gross. And then the last one on there is a fraud investigation, over $15,000. The next page talks about our evidence control and our audits. We had a couple of audits this year, passed both of those with 100%, which is hard to do, and very important with evidence rooms. You've got to make sure that those stay as perfect as possible, and we did that twice this year, which was great. Next page talks about equipment that we've purchased, or not purchased, but we've obtained through the Attorney General's office through some grants. We got about $30,000 worth of equipment. We got a shield, which adds to, now we have 4 shields that we can deploy with the officers. And then we got soft armor ballistic vest replacements through their grant, which saves us right around $3,000 to $4,000 per officer. And then we got hard trauma plates for rifle rounds for the officers to put in their vests that we keep in the cruisers in case of an active shooter. So we jumped on that opportunity. Next page, it's sideways, but that's just a brief overall of our vehicle maintenance throughout the year and what we spent on each cruiser. So overall maintenance totaled around $16,000. And if you look closely at it, you'll see the vehicles towards the bottom are the spares. Those are the ones that are aging. And you can see the totals and the vehicle maintenance go higher as the vehicles age. So that's why we try and get them out at around 6 to 8 years, and the mileage gets up around 60 to 80,000.
And we do have 2 vehicles that need to be surplus. That'll
Yes.
be on the March agenda.
Yes. That's it for that one.
Is
Next.
that the 2 19s that we're going to
Yeah.
surplus? Okay.
Yep, very bottom. This one's kind of interesting. It kind of lays out traffic collisions that we took throughout the year. If you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see that pie chart. The big blue slice of pizza up on the top right, that's Madison Pike. So that kind of gives you an idea where we spend most of our time with our collisions. And I've addressed the state several times. I'll highlight what I think the biggest issue is. It's those flashing yellow lights at the interstate on-ramps on Madison, where people have to yield to southbound traffic to turn. Those have brought some of the worst accidents we've had in a while. Yeah, we had them get rid of the one at Highland and Madison when they first installed that, because we almost had some really bad collisions. They changed it. They have yet to address that. I've contacted them a handful of times over that, but
Can I ask you a question? I
Yeah.
know we've got, 4 jurisdictions down there on Madison Avenue? You got you, Edgewood, and Taylor Mill, not Taylor, Independence,
Covington.
Covington. Is there still a problem with, like, you getting calls in one of the other jurisdiction that might?
Yeah, we get it all the time. It's mainly the intersection of Dudley and Madison, so if a car's on Madison and gets hit by a car coming off of Dudley, that intersection is Edgewood, just the intersection. But if you go south of that, that's us. You go north of that, that's us.
So did you guys figure that out in the field, or?
Yeah, we've got an agreement with Edgewood's department,
Sure.
where all the officers are kind of trained, that we know if it's there, it's Edgewood.
So none of that would be in none of these numbers?
No.
Okay, that's all.
These are strictly ours.
Yep, gotcha.
The next page is activity, and just kind of a couple of pie charts that just outline different types of activities that we do: crimes, collisions, citations. So if you look at, total calls for service throughout the year, you can see On the top chart right there, that large blue section on the left and top, that's collisions. And if you go to the next page, just one down from that. It's agency activity. So this is each agency around us comparable in size. And we're on the far left and we're the highest. So these are calls for service throughout the year. And this is all strictly calls for service where somebody called dispatch asking for help. So if you look for dispatches that are not self-initiated, traffic stops, parking complaints, vacation business checks, and so all that's taken out. So that's all self-initiated. This is all exactly what's demanded, from the community on the police department. And for our size, we outwork almost everybody around us.
Do you have it broken out in here on the interstate? How much of the calls that for service getting on the interstate?
I do not, but I can. I can get that number if you want it.
Oh, we were gonna talk about cameras.
Thank you, Jason.
Sure.
Sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
I was just ready to ask for an amended agenda.
Talk about whatever you like. I'll just go on home. Sorry to interrupt again. Sorry I'm late. Proceed.
Wait, Carrie, can you have the
you,
minutes
Jason.
reflect that mayor's arrived at what time? And he's now running the show. Thank
So
you.
on the, is that broken out in here? Do you have that on your chart?
I don't have it in the report, but I have it somewhere. I can
I
get it.
know last year, I think it was pretty high. Pretty high number between you and the fire department. You're out there, I was gonna say like 500 times a year, something like that.
Likely, it's up there, yeah. When it comes to collisions and stuff like that, it's either 275, 75, or Madison. That's what it comes down
Did
to.
that go up or down, or, or?
It's gone up this year, versus last year. Yeah. And then, Jill, the next several pages they break down part 1, part 2 crimes, and what those mean is a part 1 crime is kind of the more heinous, the more serious ones. It lays out, I think part 1 crimes goes for a few pages, a couple of pages, and then part 2 are less serious crimes, and it just kind of breaks down what it was and the location of each one. I just figured I'd throw that in there for anybody gets bored and wants to look at some of the stuff we did. Other than that kind of wraps up the report.
I did look at those last night.
Yeah.
Because I apparently was bored. And,
Had insomnia?
yeah, it did, I guess it didn't surprise me, but it was, when I, went through it, I thought it was just interesting how, really, if you think about it, how very little bad crime we have.
Don't curse us, Donna.
I
Don't
know
curse
that,
us.
but it just, seriously, like, I'm almost proud of that, Like Fort Wright, we just, minus, if you just take out a couple, 3 different commercial areas, I'm sure there's one that pops in our head right now, and that was definitely on those sheets last night.
Oh yeah, that address pops up
Yeah, there's
quite
a lot,
a bit on
there's a
there.
lot. And you take a couple others that you're like, well, it is what it is, you've got, retail down the hill and whatever. And then you look over to the residential side, and there's a couple addresses that popped up more than once.
519 General by chance?
But for the most part, we really don't have a lot of bad crime. We just, really, in our neighborhoods.
And that's what I try and explain to a lot of people, that we're, unfortunately from a policing standpoint, we're more of a transient community. The people that we deal with on the crime side of it, criminal side of it, is mostly people that aren't even residents of Fort Wright.
Yeah. Just visitors in those homes, or just?
Passing through.
Passing,
Yeah.
okay.
Just a lot of lollygagging going on, I think.
That's right. A lot of lollygagging. It's too cold for that right now, Margie.
I think the one number you didn't touch on was the number of calls for service. To me, that's kind of shocking. In here it says 7,620 calls. I mean, I just did quick math, that's over 20 calls a day. You're saying we don't have a lot of crime, but there's a lot of
There's
activity.
accidents
There's
and
a lot of
everything else,
activity
yeah.
that are,
And the majority of those, calls are legit dispatch calls. If you take the total number.
It's not self-directed activity like go vacation check or something.
Right. No,
Yeah.
that's all dispatched calls.
Yeah, so I'm not as prepared as I should be on this particular subject because I still don't even have this on the screen. But, I appreciate you and the fire department putting this information together. I think it's important for residents to understand just how busy we are. I think Donna makes an important point that, we're very blessed we don't have a lot of crime. And the crime we do have typically tends to be transient, as you mentioned, Chief. So, again, I think we're very fortunate in that regard. And, the people that live here like it here. They like their neighbors. They're friendly, helpful, good people, But, Jason, the point you touched on, I think, is the most important point. I just like to remind people, we have an amazing team here. And I think you can see it in the stats, like you just pointed out, or like the Public Works Department, or the Fire Department, too. But, like, the Public Works Department has 3 full-time people, Now, they will occasionally get help for these snowstorms and stuff, but, I mean, they're doing an amazing amount of work, and I think by any objective measure, an amazing job when you look at what they get done with a small group of people, especially in these difficult situations like this last snowstorm. But to get back to the police department specifically, to your point, Jason, I mean, 20 calls a day doesn't sound like that much, maybe, but when you think about it, each call could last 10 minutes, each call could last 2 hours. They're all over the map. And just the sheer volume of activity the police department deals with, I think, is pretty astounding, especially, again, considering the relatively small size, right? We run a 24/7 operation, 365 days a year, 3 shifts a day. There are 13 police officers, including the chief, who's a working chief. Yes, he picks up the phone and answers calls and goes when he has to go, because that's just the way it has to be in an organization of this size. But so, again, the fire department, the police department, the public works are doing an enormous amount of stuff with a relatively small number of people. And I don't think the average person really has any idea just how active our police department is. Again, mostly traffic, collisions, that sort of thing. But it's a lot of activity. When you get a wreck, you got to go, right? So my long-winded rambling here is I appreciate these reports. I think they're useful. We'll upload them to the website. I encourage people, go check it out for yourself. Many times over the years since I've been here, and I know Scott and Bernie, and you've definitely been around for some of these conversations, when we were looking at, well, where are we spending our money, and should we spend money on things like a park, for example? And I made the point then I think our police department was like 8 officers. Now the city's grown, the activity's grown, you've got a lot more housing around here, more people driving through. So, the police department has grown over time, which I was all for. But my point then was like, okay, if you got let's just say 9 officers, that's 3 shifts a day, man, right? There's roughly 6,000 people that live here. If you got 9 officers, at best, you probably have 3 officers on duty at any given time. So basically, when you dial 911, you're in contention with roughly 3,000 other people for that police officer. So would you rather spend your money on Battery Hooper Park or more police officers? And so again, that's the mentality I've always operated on. And I think, again, the police department is doing an amazing job, but there is an enormous amount of activity. Way more. Most people think, it's sleepy bedroom community. The police department's not doing anything. They're sitting around all day long eating donuts and chatting with the Fort Mitchell police and that sort of thing. And that's not the case. They are very, very busy, as you see in this report. And then when you throw into things like the vacation checks, so you've got the phone rings and I got to go because I got a call from the dispatch versus things they're just out doing, like in the neighborhoods being friendly and checking your door when you go on vacation and so forth. It's an enormous amount of activity. So again, kudos to the police department. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. Same for the fire department. And I think there's a lot of value in these reports. I would encourage everyone to go, once they're uploaded to the website, go check it out. It's pretty eye-opening. So now I'm going to stop rambling.
And Mayor, I indicated, of course, Chief Shuey's out. We'll have his report presented in March.
Okay.
He didn't want to compete against.
He has a lot of graphics, though, in his report.
Yeah. Well, Steve has
Him
been
and Jeff bailed out tonight. They didn't want to go against that.
Steve has been working under the tutelage of Bernie and his amazing Photoshop skills. Okay, I'm trying to read the agenda because I'm still not quite logged in here. What are we on here?
That's okay. So the next
Well,
thing I have is just discussions about discussions and updates on legislation. That has been filed. So I included in your packet a list of the KLC priority legislation that's been filed for your review. I also have 4 bills in there, Senate Bill 91, Senate Bill 112, House Bill 495, and House Bill 276. I included the bill language in there. I would encourage you to look at all of them and see if you have any questions or concerns. Of course, you can reach out to our legislators yourselves, or we can take a group action if you would like to do that. I thought it might be beneficial to have some discussion around this topic at caucus.
Well, can we, if we're going to do a group action, I like to do a group action on the Senate Bill 112. Because, and we need to do it during
That is correct.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to put something in here tonight, Jay. I mean, I don't know what else you guys are seeing. I think all of you get the KLC legislative alerts, and I know I forward them anyway, just in case you didn't, or for some reason only came to me. You know, the timer's ticking on the session, and while I would encourage each of you to reach out individually on anything you have any individual concerns, interest in, or whatever, you know, how much weight does a resolution carry? I don't know, but probably more than like my opinion or your opinion individually, right? Because we at least took the time to collectively come together and say we're for or against something. So, yeah, I mean, whatever y'all want to talk about, whatever you think we ought to address, I'm all for it, because we won't have that many more opportunities in legislative meetings like this to address them unless we have a special meeting or something. So,
Can I ask you, I guess, a procedural question, I guess? You know, I agree with you on Senate Bill 112.
Yeah.
And I think we do need to do something, but can we authorize the mayor to write a letter opposing Senate Bill 12 on behalf of the city of Fort Wright?
Yes.
Can we do it? We don't have to adopt a formal resolution.
No, you do not. You can direct him to send a resolution or pass a resolution.
and
but
if that's easier for the timing of these, I'm fine with any of these items.
Whatever
I mean,
needs.
you know.
Letter on your
because
behalf is.
It obviously does take some time to put a resolution together. So if there's something you want to act on tonight and you want to do it quickly, yeah, if you want to say, assuming I agree with it, which I'm guessing I'm going to agree with all 6 of you on all of these topics, I'm perfectly happy to do that if you say, hey, write a letter on our behalf, authorized by council. So
if you're willing to do that, that's.
yeah,
cool.
I'm fine with it.
And the league has indicated that Senate Bill 112 is moving quickly, so they are asking for an urgent response.
That's moving quickly. That's amazing.
I think it's crazy.
What was there last year, and now somebody did it again, so.
There's always, I think, when you look at these bills, I think there was one representative that sponsored like 3 or 4 of these.
Well, I'm concerned with the income tax thing. I'm concerned with this House Bill 45. You know, the income tax thing, is it 91? I don't remember what it is offhand.
Yes, the
Yeah,
form.
I mean,
It's Senate
if you
Bill
look at,
91.
if you look at 91, you know, we talked about this last time. And I went out to, it was not the mayor's group, it was the municipal league, where they brought in various tax people working in various jurisdictions around northern Kentucky. Like Larry Klein was there as one of the presenters. And they kind of gave a pro and con about why you might want the state to do this versus why you wouldn't want the state to do this. And, you know, my personal opinion is, assuming all they're doing is coming up with sort of a centralized form, that doesn't make me lose my mind, but it feels like a slippery slope to me. I'm 100% totally dead set against anything where they're going to try to centralize the collection and or tell you what the rate has to be. You know, we have worked for years here to, and it's probably not the right word, but to manipulate our taxes in a way that are favorable to residents and businesses to get more people to come here and get more businesses to come here. The last thing I want is the state to come back and say, well, now you have to have one common income tax rate or payroll tax, whatever you want to call it, you know, occupational license, because it's a competitive advantage for us to have one that's lower than everyone else. So again, I'm not going off the rails on 91, but I think we should just come out against it. You know, you've already got somewhat centralized tax collection through Kenton County now, right?
If you remember, Dave, too, I mean, we debated that pretty heavily, even with Kenton County. What was it, a 1% fee that they're charging us now?
Yeah.
I think, for that
22%.
service. And we debated that pretty heavily, and whether or not, wasn't it a half, or it was, Something
Sorry,
less,
I'd have to pull the document to
Yeah,
see, but
but-
we are collectively paying them something.
yeah, and they justified that 1% cost for administrative fees for administrative.
That's reasonable that there's some overhead there for
And
them.
we're still local, we can handle that, and we can have those conversations with our local folks on administrative, on what it's costing to administer that. This stuff here, it's in Frankfurt, we'll never see it again.
Well, and yeah, you lose all control over it.
Absolutely.
And does anybody know what's behind, like Rawlings and King and those guys, what's behind this whole thing?
So here was the rationale that, I can't remember who came and spoke at that meeting in favor of it. But the rationale has been, and this goes back, I was on the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce board for a fairly long time at one time. And, if you're a business that works in all these different jurisdictions, and it even applies to our business at Intrust, we have customers all over the place. So I got to pay a different tax in Wyoming than Fort Wright, than Alexandria, than Springdale, and it becomes a giant pain to try to manage all of these things, right? So, from a business perspective, I understand why if you're a business, and like the Chamber of Commerce was, I might have been like the only, one of like 3 people on the board who were just absolutely dead set against this, okay? I get why.
It benefits somebody like you, so to speak, the most, somebody paying different taxes.
Yes, I mean, there is some benefit there, but in the grand scheme of things, somehow we've managed to exist as a society doing it this way for a long, long, long time.
And I looked at this, so I pulled out my Fort Wright tax bill when I was looking at this last night, because what Rawlings and whoever was saying, 2 things, that what we have now in all these different cities is confusing and it's inconsistent. And I can tell you, when I looked at the Fort Wright tax bill, the same format we've had for years now, and I'm just a lowly old resident with just one little old property, and that's it. It's very easy for me to figure out my tax bill. It was what the property's valued at times .00199, and then there's basically a $5 a week waste collection fee, and that's it. I don't know how we could make it any simpler. I don't know how it's confusing, so I don't know how those people, that I've mentioned already, think it's confusing, except for, on a business point of view.
Yeah, I mean, you got all these different rates.
But who
You know.
pays for, like, the most common person that gets that tax bill is Joe Blow resident like me. And it's not a business, correct?
Well, no, they're really talking about occupational taxes, income tax. So, like Margie, has customers all over the place, so.
So we pay we pay taxes and occupational license fees for each city, and for, like, Kenton County is usually all together, but then there's Covington is separate, and Boone County's kind of all together, but Florence is separate, and so all of these are looked at
And they
separately.
have different rates, right?
Everybody's going to do.
And certain rules and so forth. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but for,
I mean, in my business,
Bernie, same way.
we're in 3 counties,
Yeah,
and I don't know, 10, 12 different cities.
yeah.
Okay, but our employees, they write it down, I was in Boone County, I was in Florence, whatever, wherever they were at, for X amount of hours, our payroll takes care of it.
yeah, it's,
Realtors
They-
are the number one, I think, people that are really getting, because they're selling real estate in 19 different jurisdictions in Canton County.
I mean, it's-
It gets burdensome for them, I understand that.
it does add some burden, but there's these things called computers, and like you said, as long as you say, I work this much time in this thing, the payroll people can take care of this. This is not a crisis. The whole argument is bogus to me. I mean, again,
That's what I was wondering, what the problem is
So-
already. I couldn't quite understand the existing problem if things were confusing and.
So I think that, so we've got a couple different legislation products that we're discussing, I think. So just to clarify and kind of level set, Senate Bill 91 deals with the preparation of real property tax bills only, so just
okay,
property
so I've
taxes.
got the wrong number on the thing I'm
So
talking
yes, we've got a
So
couple
we've
different
mixed up
bills.
2 different
We've
things.
mixed up 2 different.
Sorry about
things. So Senate Bill 91 requires that the name, the address, the phone number, the website, the taxable value, the physical address, the parcel number, the property description, the assessed value, exemptions, all of those things are included on the tax bill in a mandated form that is prepared by the Department of Revenue that we are required to use. The problem with that is we use a third-party software, so we're going to have to make sure that our third-party vendor can utilize that system. That's certainly going to cost us something to have them manipulate it, because we can work within the confines of their bill layout now, but it's probably not going to be exactly the same. I think, and I don't know where the league's position is on this, but generally, I think you want to be opposed to any bill that violates your home rule. And this bill certainly would do that. It's taking your local control away and requiring Frankfurt to do something. I agree with the mayor. I think it's a slippery slope. Why do they want to do this? It leads me to believe you have a centralized form. It's one step closer to a centralized collection, or at least giving communities the opportunity, perhaps, if they want to have it collected for some wild reason someplace else. So that is Senate Bill 91.
Yeah, and I apologize for mixing up the numbers. That doesn't bother me that much, because from a software standpoint, that's trivial. I don't disagree with your point, though, and in general, I'm for home rule. Stop telling us what to do, Frank.
So can I make a motion that we authorize the mayor to draft a letter in opposition to Senate Bill 91 with the reasons that we kind of stated here tonight?
Yeah.
Yes.
We got a motion by Wessel, second by
And
Weber.
112. Can we add?
Well, I was going to do them individually.
Okay.
Both of them.
Yeah, I would prefer we do them individually. All right, so we got a motion, a second, any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
You want to hit 112?
Yes, and then 112 deals with short-term rental legislation. The league has come out and sent information asking you to urgently respond to this, as well as the local tourism board. Sorry, the name escapes me at the moment. Julie Kirkpatrick contacted us and, yes, media inquiry. Yes, thank you. So she had contacted us and said they also they're opposed to it and would like us to come out and support them in our opposition to it.
I mean, they're basically, in a nutshell, if you all haven't read it, but they're, and I'm in the rental business, but they're basically handcuffing the cities. You can't say anything, really. You can put an Airbnb anywhere you want, anytime, any place. In a nutshell, that's kind of what this legislation is doing. I mean, we have zoning regulations. It's tying your hands in zoning, even as far as on our permitted uses versus any type of other use. We can't restrict them in any way. I don't understand the reasoning behind it. I mean, I think Airbnbs and short-term rentals have a place in the community, I think, but we should be able to regulate them and like we do everything else.
That's where I'm at with you, Bernie. I mean, we've had this Airbnb discussion off and on for years, and I am a proponent of Airbnb in general. It's your property.
Me too.
We already have laws, nuisance laws and so forth, if you're causing a problem. But the idea that they basically say you just can't do anything, it's a bridge too far for me. So
That's my view reading it,
that would be my short-term take on it as well. I mean, I haven't read the whole bill. I just read what KLC sent out. But that said, I don't know why we would want this.
I agree. So I'll make a motion to,
So we'll similar on SB 112.
112.
Opposing it.
Bill 112, that we allow the mayor to write a letter in opposition to it.
I'll second the motion.
All right, so a motion by Weber, second by Ross. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt? Yes. Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Preemptive chicken.
Yes, so House Bill 276, and I'll just read this so I get it correctly. The bill defines backyard chickens as domesticated hens kept for personal egg production or educational purposes and excludes roosters in commercial poultry operations. While the bill says cities could adopt reasonable regulations related to setback, sanitation, and prohibitions on commercial sales, any local ordinance that conflicts with the state requirement allowing up to 6 hens would be void and unenforceable. So we do have some legislation in the nuisance code restricting chickens and hens, although we don't have a problem in the community on this. I think they are allowed to have 6 without any roosters. But the fact that you can't control anything is really the issue for me.
Again, I'm the pro do what you want guy. I don't have a problem with chickens. Now, do I want like tourists to open up in my neighbor's yard? No. But, same
But
thing
that's a
like,
business.
yeah, right. If you want to have a few, now, I will say the rooster thing, I will tell you, interestingly enough, our office is right in the middle of Blue Ash, okay?
You got a
And
rooster out there?
there's somebody in the house behind us that's got a rooster,
He does.
and it makes a hell of a lot of noise on a regular basis. Yeah.
Well, I
it's,
think
it's something.
currently, we don't distinguish, we allow 5 pets, right?
Right.
There, and I'd have to go back and look. There is something in the nuisance code that I believe particularly deal with fowl, that
Well, If
identifies.
it's 5 dogs barking or 5
Yeah,
chickens.
there is definitely a numerical limit. I don't remember what it is, because that was also a point of debate at one point about how many can you have, what's the right number, who's to say that you can't have 8 cats or whatever.
Goldfish pad, you know.
Yeah, you were here for all of that. Yeah.
I tried when
So,
people called
some
about it.
folks who sat in this seat before, wanted to restrict everything. You wouldn't even be able to breathe without their permission.
mean,
I won't
don't
mention their
care
name.
if You have 5 dogs, 5 cats, whatever, and they're clean, and they're not barking all night. If they're violating, disturbing the peace, that's a whole different ball of wax. If you have 5 roosters and they're crowing all night and disturbing the peace, that's a different ball of wax.
As somebody who stayed in an Airbnb.
Now, 5 alligators might
With
be.
roosters, with a rooster next door, and another one down the street, because they were allowed to roam free, and they do, they will roam free. I am absolutely completely against House Bill 276 and having fowl in the greater Fort Wright area. You can imagine your house with hens next door on one side, hens and a rooster next door on the other, and hens and a rooster behind you. I'm telling you, they start at 3 in the morning. They don't wake you up like on Bugs Bunny at 8
The
a.m.
hens do? The hens do? Or the roosters?
The rooster.
Well, this bill
But the
says no,
hens are-
this bill says no
It
roosters.
excludes roosters.
Excludes roosters, but if you have hens, you're gonna have roosters.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
We had several cases of BBS on this. And every city's different. Some are allowed to have 5 hens, some are allowed to have 6, some are really low limit on it, but no rooster. Because the only thing the rooster was there was protect.
Yeah, well, I was thinking the
Well,
other.
and inseminate.
Donna, so Frank's chairman, or you were chairman, are you still chairman of the?
No, I'm the secretary now. I stepped down. 15 years of chairman was enough.
Tired of that?
I can't
I don't
imagine why
understand.
you'd get tired of that, Frank.
Yeah.
Do you have the nuisance code up?
Yeah, we have some.
Ours is 5.
Yeah, 5, okay. I couldn't
We
remember
allow
what it
5
was.
chickens.
No, isn't it pets?
No, it
Chickens,
specifically
we
We
calls
have a
out chicken.
specific chicken
Yes.
verbiage in the nuisance code.
So anyone's allowed to have 5 chickens?
3 chickens and 2 dogs.
Anyone's allowed to have 5 chickens anywhere in Fort Wright.
Or maybe we don't have chickens. More even.
Not
They
complaint-
have
I've
chicks,
not
it
had
goes on
any
to say you
complaints
get
about
a
it.
reasonable amount of time to get rid of them.
I encourage neighbors to give eggs.
Yeah. Yeah.
The idea on House Bill 276 is that we want to control it and not to let them control it over us.
Yeah, I think that's just a home rule issue again.
So we want to basically say, we oppose it
Yeah.
because home rule, essentially. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion for the mayor to give their authority to send a letter basically opposing House Bill 276.
Second?
I'll second.
All right. Motion by Witt, second by Weber. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yeah.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
And just for a point of clarification on these letters, there are different people sponsoring these and so forth. Here's what I'm proposing to do. You all tell me if this makes sense or you want me to do something else. We will send it to the sponsor, we'll send it to whatever that committee is, and then I'll carpet bomb all the other local legislators I know, because I carpet bomb them with stuff about cybersecurity all the time anyway.
Well, then they won't
So-
even look at it. Does somebody else want to send it?
Well, but
And I'll send it
it'll
out.
show up in the record. It'll be in the record down
I
there.
mean, has anybody talked to Stephanie or anybody about these?
I haven't talked to her about any of this stuff so far.
And I'll make sure.
But
that
again,
it's-
I got an issue with one of her bills.
Yeah, I
So,
think we should bring that up tonight, I think, honestly.
Yes.
I mean, that might get some traction. I mean, I respect Stephanie a lot. but-
yeah, ditto. I just think she's done a great job, but I don't know what the thought on this, it's 45, right?
It would've been nice
Yes,
if
it's
we
House Bill
discussed that.
495.
495,
And
sorry,
it is
well,
the
I'm
bill
sorry,
that
screwed up.
I am very concerned about because it requires 100% of the wages of the employees associated with the corporate office to be appropriated to the local government where the corporate office is located.
I'm 100% against this.
So that is certainly a problem for us. There is some rumblings, and I don't know the accuracy of it, but some rumblings that the bill was filed to assist Covington in the fidelity issue with remote workers. But, I don't know that specifically, but I am concerned about a loss of revenue to our community if this legislation passes.
Wait, does it define the actual location of the corporate headquarters? Because you look at Fidelity, I mean,
It's Boston. Yeah.
Yeah.
correct. So what does that mean?
There is nothing that says specifically it would be associated with the Commonwealth. So it specifically says the state where the state government where the office is located. Those are for state employees. It says be apportioned to the local government where the corporate office is located. So I'm assuming if an employee works for P&G, they pay the wages affiliated with P&G.
And that's another thing that's, I mean, think about this for a second. I work from home probably 80% of the time. My office is in Blue Ash. Not only is Fort Wright going to lose that revenue, Kenton County's going to lose that revenue, and Kentucky is going to lose that revenue.
Is there nothing in that definition, Phil, that defines I guess the intent was to say that the headquarters be located in a certain municipality in our jurisdiction, but it's still, it's too broad.
Even then, I mean, this made sense in like 1984 when you went to an office building every day, like downtown in Cincinnati, they're providing the services that support that. That makes sense they get the money. But if I'm working from home all day, why should Blue Ash get that money?
I agree.
They're not providing any services to me whatsoever. No, nothing against Blue Ash out there. Love you, Blue Ash. You guys are great. Minus that rooster.
And I have not had any discussion with Representative Dietz about this bill. This has just been kind of floating around recently, so we are still looking at it and investigating it, but local government is defined as
It would
a
be,
city, urban, county government, Charter 24, county government, consolidated local government within the Commonwealth.
Are we trending to have Dave send a letter on
my take is we should say this is a terrible idea and convince us why it's not. We're against it, and you're going to have to convince us why it's not.
this? Okay,
I think it's an absolutely awful idea.
okay.
And I don't know how Kentucky benefits from this, because a lot of people that live in Kentucky work in Ohio.
So what is that Senate, what is it, Bill?
It's
495?
House Bill 495.
All right.
And I'll provide you a copy of the actual language in the bill. My understanding it is moving forward and been sent to committee.
Yeah, I'd rather just get out in front of it and let her or someone else tell us why it's good. It'd be interesting
Yeah.
to see what the chamber thinks about this. I would not think they would be in favor
She
of it.
come up Wednesday for the caucus meeting and talk to us?
We can invite her, but since they're in session, that gets dicey.
Yeah, usually they will come and report after session, give us an update. She sponsored the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, David,
And maybe we're misinterpreting it in some capacity. Maybe there's something that's beneficial.
is this something you probably should share with your mayor's group and have?
If we put this letter together, you know what, I'll just go ahead and send this off to them and say, we're coming out against this, and would encourage you to do the same and see what they say. Yeah, I got no problem with it.
And Dave, I think that it maybe as a courtesy to her, would you call her or anything?
Yeah.
Or, I'll make that motion that we oppose House Bill, what is it? 495, and then we let our head rooster write a letter opposing the bill for the reasons we stated here today.
Do we have a second? Second Collins, so, motion Wessel, second Collins. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
I had to get one in there.
That's good.
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Do we know, what's the bill number on the income tax thing I brought up, since I had the wrong bill number?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. You know what? Let me look.
Yeah,
Was it in KLC's information?
It was. That's how
Okay.
I originally found out about it.
Yeah,
So
let me look at
it's
it.
something similar to 91.
House Bill 189 establishes statewide limiting pedestrian presence. 313 is municipal franchises.
Jill, do you happen to have that email I sent you with, there was about 10 bills on there?
91, isn't it?
Which one are you looking for?
Is it
I do not see, it's state income tax day?
There's the 91.
Is it Senate Bill 91? No, that is the department tax form that you all opposed. I don't see it listed there.
That must be how I mixed it up, because I saw tax and got these two mixed up. I'm looking at my city email now on my phone, which is not optimal.
Yeah, I know, Bernie, you had sent something. I've not had a chance to look at that. I think Brooke you researched that and provided a report, correct?
Which one?
The bill that Bernie had inquired about? I was out of town when that occurred.
The one I did is the one you wrote back and said you did have concerns on that we
Oh,
talked about.
that
The
was sent
standardized
out.
forms, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I knew there was something you'd researched.
Okay, I think perhaps I've just been wrong about this the whole time. Because Jill, I did send you and Brooke an email, Senate Bill 91 to standardize property tax forms statewide. From what you guys responded and what I sent, I think somehow I got mixed up in my mind that had to do with payroll tax and not property tax. Now, maybe there is something else out there and I'm just still confused, but when I sent that, I was thinking it was the income tax thing.
No, I think
So
probably
clearly I'm
where
wrong
I
about that.
confused you on that maybe is by saying I think that it is it's a lead into some of those consolidated opportunities, but this Senate Bill 91 specifically says in the language of the bill, very first sentence, is that it is dealing with all real property tax bills in the standardized form.
So clearly I'm wrong about that. I'll go back and dig through my previous emails from the last legislative session and see what the income tax thing was and see if I can backtrack into that. Hopefully it's not a thing, but if it is, it definitely bears watching, especially if it's anything above and beyond the 1A form.
And Bernie, you had sent something regarding 26 RS land use.
Say that again.
It says 26 RS land use was the,
Okay, well, I've got that open, and there's a number of bills, I'll just kind of shoot them out quick. It's similar to the other things, as far as the city not being able to regulate duplexes and putting restrictions on duplexes. That's House Bill 203. Multifamily dwelling units and mixed unit development, same thing. Eliminating the city's ability to restrict those multifamily. I mean, there's a number of bills that's like that. That's House Bill 205.
Are these all sponsored by the same person?
I think a lot of them were. I can pull it up. That's,
Carney.
yeah, Coleman, yeah. Colcomani, right there.
Maybe I'm pronouncing that incorrectly.
Yeah, he's on tour, whoever that person, I'm sorry, the representative is on a number of these. There's Senate Bill 53 is on planning and zoning.
I'm sorry, Senate Bill 53.
They want to make it mandatory on subdivision plats and development plan approvals for public hearings. Generally in Kent County, we don't do that. If the land's permitted, it meets your restrictions, you move on and you go on. I'm not sure where that's coming from either. You know, I mean, I can forward you guys this email and look at it, but short-term rentals in there and 112's on there. There's also a Senate bill on short-term rentals, Senate Bill 54. Let me see what that,
Yeah, in this email that you sent, Bernie, and I'm happy to forward this for you too, if you'd like, there are 18 bills that somehow impact land use.
right. Senate Bill 54 basically says, create a new section allowing local governments to regulate short-term rentals. So it's pretty much the opposite of, right? That don't seem to be going anywhere, though.
Have any of you heard, well, on a related topic to the taxes, you know, Ohio seems to have a lot of traction around trying to eliminate property tax altogether with a constitutional amendment.
Indiana as well, I believe.
Well, there's talk of it here, and there's at least one legislator who has discussed the idea. And, you know, I think anyone that's ever interacted with the city of Fort Wright knows we've done our best to try to keep our taxes as low as possible and generally are going backwards on taxes, at least the rates. We don't control the property values. I don't know how, if you got rid of property tax without some sort of offset, how, you know, like, how are we going to pay the 13 police officers? How are we going to fix your streets? How is the ambulance going to get out? The money to make all of this happen doesn't just, you know, we have a pot of gold with Lucky the Leprechaun back there minting gold coins, you know? We don't have unicorns farting out cash. The money has to come from somewhere. So while I'm all for giving people as much tax relief as possible, the idea that you would just completely eliminate property taxes, and where I'm going with this is, A, have any of you heard anything about this, like moving in Kentucky? I haven't really recently. And B, what is the offset?
I thought it was a sales and use tax increase.
Now, I could get down with that, because, then everyone, everyone has skin in the game. But the idea that you could just eliminate it without some offsetting amount is, the whole government would collapse.
There's a problem with the sales and use tax, and I think they tried to do that with a local restaurant tax a few years ago, if you remember. And you get cities that are like, say, for instance, Park Hills and Villa Hills, they don't have a lot of retail, they don't have anything. But then you go to cities like Florence, I mean, they're the ones that are gonna reap all the benefits of a law like that. And I don't know how that revenue could possibly be passed on to other municipalities.
Well, Florida doesn't have any income tax, do they?
Yeah, on no income
Yeah,
tax.
Yeah.
property tax.
But they got high sales tax.
And they have legislation pending now too, and I'm paraphrasing, or I've been kind of watching it a little bit. But I think what Florida has they have different rates for residents, local residents, and then if you're a snowbird, you have a different rate, okay? Their rates can only go up, but I think that they're trying to make it apply to residents of Florida only, on their primary residence in
Okay.
Florida. But it's gaining a lot of traction, and the governor's behind it, and a lot of legislators behind it, but I don't know where it's at in their session, but
Now, is that,
it's gonna be voted on. They have to do a constitutional amendment
right,
in Florida, and then the people.
I found what I was looking for.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I didn't mean to catch up, but I found the bill I was concerned about. I'm way off on the number. Finish what you were saying, I'm sorry.
No, I just, from what I understand, Florida has to change their constitution. I mean, don't quote me on this, but it's my understanding. Change the constitution, the people have to vote on that, and then they will also vote on the elimination of the tax itself for residents only.
See if you,
But you're right, you have schools, that's their primary source of income. I don't know how do you pay for the school?
well, I know,
how do you pay for any of this stuff?
yeah, Tennessee doesn't have an income tax, but they have a high sales tax. They got a real high sales tax.
I mean, we're fortunate that more than half of our money comes from income tax, so it wouldn't just completely shut us down, but, you can't just
We
come
lose
up
a
with,
third of our income.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it would be a huge problem.
Yeah.
So, what do you think that says?
To me, that is substantially similar to the Senate bill we were talking about as far as standardized forms relating to occupational tax.
It's House Bill 518, Patrick Flannery. I knew I saw this somewhere. And all it says, the way I read it, that's why I'm having him look at it, is that, the Secretary of State would come up with a common form, right? Doesn't set the rates or anything like that. But even that, why do I need that? And to me, that's just like the first step on the road to let Frankfurt pull all that money down there, and then, make sure that we get back the crumbs.
Is there a problem with some of these like smaller cities that, like Glencoe and things like, I don't know what they do down there in these small cities. They don't really have the resources to do a lot of stuff.
This is my response initially to this issue. There probably are. There are probably some communities who put less information on there, but I would think from the process of collecting debt that there are other legislation that's out there that requires, if you're going to send a bill to somebody, you must indicate your name, your address, who you're collecting from and what the purpose of it from, under the fair debt collection process. Now, why this is needed versus using that type of legislation, I don't understand. So, yes, I'm sure that there are some communities who do it differently, but I don't understand the benefit from having it all on one centralized form. Most people don't own property in multiple jurisdictions.
This concerns me specifically in this House Bill 518. Blah, 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 blah. Require the Secretary of State to file administrative regulations, including the standard forms and electronic links, and require tax districts to accept the standard forms and associated payments electronically on or after January 1st, 2028. So going back to Jill's point, I mean, we would have to have our software modified to use this standard form. Not a big deal, probably. But, again, is this the first step towards, next they're going to tell you, you can't set your own rates, and they're gonna collect it.
We use the tax thing for the garbage collection, which is where it's just to pass along. I mean, that won't fit that form. So there might be a question about that.
I think that those are certainly
Standard
issues
forms
that
for
need to be discussed.
Net profits, gross receipts, and payroll occupational tax returns. House Bill 518. My suggestion to you guys is give me the authority to write a letter and say, yeah, we're against House Bill 518.
Yeah, I think this one is equally as concerned.
Scott makes a motion.
All right,
No,
second? Second, all right, so we got Wall and Weber. Any additional discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Witt?
Yes.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Ross?
Yes.
And just if you're interested, House Bill 518 was sponsored by Representative Patrick Flannery.
Jill, if you get a chance, if you could send that and like these things out to us, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
Good.
Okay.
I already emailed you the list of Bernie's,
You
the
did,
land
Jay?
use. Yes,
Okay.
yes, you should have that on your inbox already.
Hey, Dave, back to the issue of property taxes. There's 5 states that are considering it. Most are looking at an increase in sales and use tax, except Georgia, which is looking at compensating for lost revenue by billing homeowners directly for services such as garbage collections, stormwater control, and fire and police. The proposal would require voter approval for other improvements, such as those to government infrastructures or schools.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it would save you on your property taxes, but then you have to turn around and you get a bill for it anyway. It's just a separate bill.
Are there anything else we want to talk about here? I'm not aware of anything else at the moment. All right, well, then I guess we'll keep moving. So we'll put together some kind of very brief letters, quote unquote, and get them to these people. And I know Pat Flannery. I'm going to call him about this one as well and say, hey, it's a bad idea.
Boyd County?
I don't think he's that far south. South of here. But he's actually a pretty good guy. I almost always agree with him. I'm a little surprised by this, honestly.
Yeah, he's Boyd, Carter, and Lewis districts.
Okay. Committee reports. We got any committee reports?
I just have a report that I've submitted.
Okay. Let's see.
Just a couple tidbit things on the Finance Committee, and it has nothing to do with this. It's just, last month, there was only 22,000 new jobs in the United States. And last year, there was 700,000 new jobs in the United States. For years and years, it was 200,000 a month was always new jobs, so there's a whole lot of new jobs not happening at this point.
A lot of government jobs.
Well, yeah, that's true, because that's part of it too. But the other thing is that what else is going on is that older workers are working longer, so that job doesn't open up, and employers are looking to keep older workers working longer because they think they're more productive. So if you're an older worker and you're applying for a job, you've got an 80% chance of getting it. And if you're a younger worker applying for a job, you get a 20% chance
That's
of
good
getting
news
it.
for crusty people like me. They
And,
start calling me grandpa, you know?
there you go. That's all I got for right
Maybe
now.
I'll-
I'm
Oh, that's okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's all.
Since you mentioned the Finance Committee, I do just want to point out that our Cedars accounts were up for renewal with Republic Bank, and I was able to negotiate a 5 basis point increase over a 26-week lock for those accounts, and that brings our interest rate to 3.07% as an APY. So that's for a 26-week, and that's already started, so.
To that same end, and I've written the guys down so we can talk to our Red Tree people about it, but the guy that Trump is trying to get to run the Federal Reserve, he wants to lower taxes, okay, or lower, not taxes, lower interest rates. So if we have an opportunity to tie something up right now, we should do it. before that happens.
And we have Red Tree scheduled for March 4th at our Finance Committee. They'll be here to talk to us about, and you can certainly pull out any of those funds and invest them other places.
Okay, that's cool. It's just.
But
that-
right now, we're locked at 3.07, which was
Which is, oh, good.
I was trying to keep everything above 3.
I agree.
So-
But I'm just saying, if it's looking forward, the sooner we do something, the better off we're gonna be.
All right, Carrie, what do you got for us?
Nothing much, it's precedent on our passport numbers are kind of rising, season, spring break, summer vacation, but everything's.
Tinfoil hat people like me that won't get a real ID? Yes, that's me. Will not be getting a real ID anytime soon.
I do not have one either.
Do you really have to ask that question?
Because there's no camera on it.
Let me remind you about the Panopticon that we discussed.
Don't get it, that's don't-
You think there's no camera, you think there's no camera on it.
It's a camera everywhere.
Okay, Naoka, you got anything?
No, we're just still collecting delinquent taxes and just our normal duties, but she's right, passports have been very busy lately. I think people are planning on doing something in the spring.
So in regards to delinquent taxes, so we always issue a first delinquent tax notice in January, immediately after the end of the collection period. We've done that. We've now issued letter number 2, and then we'll issue one more final notice, and then they'll get referred to the city attorney for collection, so.
Did we not say something last year about places with liquor licenses?
We do, and we have one delinquent tax individual or business that has a liquor license that has not paid their taxes, so they are eligible to have their liquor license revoked. I need to review that ordinance with Brooke, and we need to take action. But yes, they are delinquent, and they are not in compliance with that ordinance. There's 2. Oh, I thought there was 1. I have to look at the list. Okay. Well, yes, we will certainly address whoever's on the delinquent list.
Any other questions for Naoka? Yeah, unfortunately, Jeff is sick, so he's not with us tonight. Steve is on vacation, as hard as that might be to believe.
It is very hard.
Yeah, I can't remember him ever taking a vacation and missing a council meeting in my entire time here.
Maybe about as far away as they can get.
Yeah.
And I have,
Go.
he's in Australia.
Australia.
Nice.
So I have been sending him pictures of modifications that have taken place in the firehouse while he's been gone. So AI has helped me paint the walls over there blue and do some other things. So yeah, we've been having some fun at his expense.
Just a
We need
question.
Go ahead.
It's sort of in conjunction with these delinquent taxes. Looking at the list, there are a few that we may want to discuss at caucus regarding the fact that they're on the code enforcement list as well. Do we want to look at liens or whatever for some of these properties that are on that
I think that's-
PDS's list?
Yeah, I'll add that to the caucus
Yeah.
agenda.
All right, anything else for Chief Caldwell? Obviously, you kind of got a full report from him earlier. Anything you have to say, Chief, or any questions for Chief Caldwell?
The only thing I wanted to bring up was just during the snowstorm, we issued we had 26 total calls for service that were related to snow emergency violations, vehicles parked on the street. And out of those 26, we issued 15 citations. There was 11 written warnings, and then we made several notifications. What the police department initially tried to do was locate the vehicle owner, go to the home, knock on the door, ask them to move. So we gave a little bit of a grace period before we tried to enforce anything. But, once the snow got deep enough and it was causing an issue of safety concerns for, fire, emergency response, and then the snow plows, which are all up and down the streets, we ended up issuing a bunch of citations. We actually had 3 vehicles towed. And then also during the snowstorm, Specialist Wiesner assisted Public Works for a total of 8 hours plowing snow.
Thank you. Thank you, Specialist Wiesner. You know, really, y'all know how I feel about snow emergencies. We did try to get out in front of this one when all the forecasts were showing that it was going to get bad. And, you know, most people are pretty cooperative. I would say if you figure roughly 2,200 households, at least 2,200 cars, 26 tickets is a pretty low percentage. I think most people try to cooperate. So, you know, for those of you who do cooperate, appreciate it. And I can tell you, for those of you who don't, we will continue to ticket or tow you. So if we declare a snow emergency, move your car or we will move it for you. That's all I'm saying, because I don't like to do it. We don't do many of them. If we do it, you are going to get a ticket or towed if you do not move your car. Anything else for Chief Caldwell? All right, Jill, could you pull up your packet there, because
Yeah, of
my
course.
thing's jacked up.
What are you
the-
looking for?
The special announcements and
Yes,
such,
of
all the
course.
accommodations.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a few seconds and touch on a couple of things.
Gary, can you yield that?
First off, yeah, there's no way I'm going to be able to read that. I'm just
Yeah,
going to look at your screen.
oh, yeah.
Ooh, now look at, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, put
it
that
can
on,
get bigger.
put that on old people's size.
Here you go.
Like X12. You know, kudos to the Public Works team and everyone that helped, the police department, the fire department, and the folks like Specialist Wiesner that came in and provided some extra support for the team. I mean, you know, that was one of the most significant snowstorms we've had in a long time. You know, they worked pretty much around the clock on that. It's a hard job, especially when people don't cooperate and move their cars, and you got to plow around it and that sort of thing. You know, the support from the Public Works Department was pretty overwhelming. I mean, it's always good. I mean, I would say one of the things that I get the most compliments about the city is the Public Works Department and their job, you know, when it snows, clearing the streets. If you go out and look at that Facebook post, I know I sent you guys some updates, and I was going to look at it tonight, but I didn't have a chance before I got here. I mean, there's something insane like 60,000 views and 600 comments, or 600 reactions and 100 comments or something. And, you know, they were all positive. So, you know, great job to the Public Works team. Thank you, Jeff, Lamar, Jake, everyone else that supported that thing. You know, those kind of, it's a lot of work. It's difficult conditions. You know, you're working in crazy hours, bad weather. So we appreciate you guys. I just wanted to say thanks. I also wanted to address, apparently we had a little miss. You know, the Parkside neighborhood, which is back off Fort Mitchell, somehow was overlooked, unfortunately. Several people reached out about that. You know, that was just an oversight and a mistake on our part. I'll accept full responsibility. We just missed it somehow. So, you know, we discussed that internally, and I can assure you it won't happen again. We have some new processes and procedures in place. Several people reached out to me about it. I, you know, addressed it all with them. And I would just say, you know, in the future, folks have to understand that, especially on side streets, you know, we're going to get to them last, right? Like my neighborhood does not get plowed first, right? The Dixie Highway, Amsterdam Road, things like the main roads, the arterial roads, and some of these are state roads, but hopefully everyone gets my point. We're going to focus on the main roads that are critical to transportation throughout the region first. We're going to focus on the main arterial roads in Fort Wright next, and then side streets are always going to be last. That's just the way it's got to work, especially with a small team of 3 people. But all of that said, I guess my bigger point is, so, you know, if we don't get to your street for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, that might not be unusual in the event of a serious snowstorm like that. But honestly, if it's 8 hours, 10 hours, and you haven't seen a single plow, something is wrong. We have messed up somehow. You should call up here, email me, email Jill, email Jeff, hit the website. You know, let us know that somehow we missed it. Unfortunately, in their case, they went most of the weekend. Before late Sunday night, people sent me a bunch of emails, which mostly I didn't even see till the next morning. So I understand why people are frustrated. I don't blame them. I would have been frustrated too. Again, it was our mistake. We messed up. It won't happen again. But should you find yourself in a situation where a substantial amount of time has passed and you haven't seen a snowplow, something is probably wrong. Reach out, let us know. We'll get it taken care of. So again, I just want.
Over there, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we were there, so, you know, we realized the calls were coming in about 8, 9 o'clock, and the crews had already gone home, they were resting, they were back out there by 4. Certainly, it was, the job was done by 5. But, you know, I do just want to say, it's inexcusable, and it was unfortunate that it happened that way. We had some unique circumstances that were kind of ongoing. You know, the snowstorm was significant. Public Works worked 37 straight hours of snow removal that particular weekend. we're required to give those regular employees breaks. So we were bringing in additional staff members who are not as familiar with the routes.
And we have a new person.
And we
on
have
the
a new
team.
person. So Blake, our newest employee, started on Tuesday.
I said Jake, Blake, sorry, Blake.
Yeah, we immediately
Apologize.
started running him through the snow route on Wednesday and Thursday. That snowstorm started on Friday and Saturday. So, you know, he was really baptized by fire. So ultimately, they did an incredible job. It was very unfortunate we had these couple streets that were missed. Unique circumstance. We do not anticipate that it will happen again.
It won't happen again. Again, we're not making excuses. We did have some unique situations, including a new person, but it shouldn't have happened. And like I said, folks, if you find that you're in a neighborhood where you have not seen a snowplow for 8 or 10 hours, something is probably wrong. Let us know. We'll address it.
I appreciate your responses to all those residents too. Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Dr. Haggerty, I saw her Monday, and she said thank you a bunch.
Good.
So I do hate that Jeff is not here this evening. We had, again.
I'm sure he's watching from
He's,
home.
I'm sure
I
he
mean,
is
come
watching
on.
from
Who
home,
isn't?
and I can relate to that. But, you know, we had, so the staff has been kind of impacted by illness recently. Last Friday, we had everybody in the Public Works Department with some form of flu, we believe. So they were back on Monday. 2 of them were still out on Tuesday, and then they came in to do the snowstorm. Jeff is still out sick. So, you know, we're trying to get everybody back, but I want to point out that we had 9 individuals who took the time to either call the office or send an email directly about what great service they had. And really, that's kind of unusual. We get we get a nice email here and there, but generally we get, unfortunately, angry emails, understandably. But this was really kind of nice to see 9 people who reached out, and that was a lot for us. So I hate that Jeff is not here, but I forwarded all of those comments to him so that he could share them with the staff. So there's a laundry list of them. if you want.
The social media post kind of talking about here, these are the 3 guys that are heading out.
Yeah.
And that sort of, that makes it personal.
It does. And, yeah, we had, I mean, these comments don't count the really nice ones we received on social media. It was a great and tremendous positive response.
So it's nice to see that Public Works outdid their nice letters and all that more than the police department and the fire
I
department.
mean, I have to say, at this point, Public Works is winning the accolades for it.
I'm just saying.
You let me know when the Public Works comes over and assists the police department.
Oh, my God. They're going to say they cleared your spot so you could get into the building every day.
So just as a point of interest, I pulled it up here. So that particular Facebook post about the Public Works Department, 3,900 engagements, 841 positive reactions, 111 comments, every single one of them positive, which by far is the most interaction I can ever recall seeing on anything that we've ever put out there. And then,
Fire got a long way to go. don't
yeah, I mean, they really set a high bar here at this point. And then, yeah, we have 9 letters. I'm not going to read all 9 of these. They're in your packet. But, 9 residents took the time to actually reach out specifically and say, hey, great job, thank you. And I would, again, just like to reiterate to the folks that live here, we appreciate it. Myself, council, the folks that work here appreciate it when you take the time to let us know when we're doing a good job. Because, we get a lot less of that than the other. I'll just leave it at that. But, not so much for me, but for the folks that work here, it's really nice to hear that you appreciate what they're doing. So, yeah, anytime you might feel like, hey, maybe I have to reach out to Fort Wright, we would really appreciate that. We love to pass this stuff on. I think it's a great morale booster for the team, and it's great to hear from you. So
I did get a text from Jeff. He is watching. Hi,
there you
Jeff.
go. There you go. We love you, Jeff.
So,
You must have insomnia.
Hi, Jeff.
Thank you for
We hope you
not
feel
being
better.
I just hope I don't get a ticket when I go home tonight. That's all.
Okay. That's pretty much everything, I think. Margie, you got anything?
No.
Jason? Donna? Jay? Scott? Bernie? All right, well, I think with that then, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Collins? Second?
I'll second.
Second, Ross? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mr. Wessels?
Yes.
Ms. Witt? Yes.
All right, thank you all again. Sorry I was late. Thank you, Jason, for keeping this ball rolling, and we will see you all in a couple of weeks.